Hey everyone and welcome. Today we are going to dive into a crucial concept in Java program that is exception handling. So exception handling in Java, as I said, it is crucial aspect to build a writing a robust code or reliable software. So it allows developers to manage unexpected events and ensure that they can handle errors and provide seamless user experience. So before going to handling the exceptions and all, let us know what is an exception. What an exception. So understanding exceptions are important before we handle the exceptions. And exceptions are unexpected events that disrupt the normal form of the program. So they can occur due to various reasons like user input errors or file access issues or maybe network problems or etc. Mm, by properly handling these exceptions, you can build your code can be more robust or informative and user friendly. You can also prevent program crashes and all. Now, in simple way, like you imagine writing a program that reads a number from the user. So what happens if user enters letter instead of a number? You know that. So this is unexpected input can cause an error and potentially crash your whole program, right? So exceptions act as a safety mechanism to catch these errors during runtime. So they are objects that represent the errors condition that occur. Now, uh, as I said, exceptions are just uh, the event that will disrupt the normal flow of the program. Um, so handling it is more important than uh, rewriting the code and all. So there are types of exceptions like runtime exceptions and compile time exceptions, that is checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. So usually we can come through so many exceptions like input output exceptions, SQL exceptions, and class not found exception, runtime exceptions like arithmetic or number format exceptions and exceptions. So effective exception handling can ensure that our application is can recover from any unexpected situations like uh, runtime errors and all, providing better user experiences and all. Now let us know what are the things that we use for handling those exceptions. So we have basically we have three blocks. Mainly we have known about these three blocks in every language like C, Python, and all. Now in Java, we have try, catch, and finary blocks. Within that, we have throw and throws. So I will discuss about it later in this presentation. So now let us know what is a try block, catch block, and find. So a try block is a like fundamental uh, construct for handling exceptions in Java. This code can consist might be consist of throw and exception and it is followed by catch or finally blocks. And coming to these catch blocks are usually used to handle those exceptions that may be thrown in the try block, and they are used to give the uh, give what exception would the program gives to you. And coming to the finally block is used to execute the code like that may run regardless whether an exception is thrown or not. Like the final block is the block which will run must and should. Like uh, it whatever exceptions you have in your code, even though the final block will be running, like it will giving the output. And here you can see that without exception and with exception. If you in your program you have exception, uh, you have exception, then first it will the program will move to the try block and then catch block and then finally and then the next line of code. But if you don't have any exceptions, then it will skip the catch block and then go to final block directly. Now let us see a piece of code which will uh, give a demo for this try catch and final blocks. So here we are taking a class like try catch demo, and we are taking two numbers like two variables, that is num1 and num2, which are of integer type 10 and 0. Now we are dividing both numbers. And you guys know that we can't divide any number with 10, right? We will get an answer like infinity. But in program, we don't have any infinity or something. So we are trying to divide these numbers and we know the exception name, right? Like it is an arithmetic exception. So in try block, we are trying to print the output of the thing which we need. Like we are dividing both numbers and we need the result. Like if this block is not running, then it will go to catch block. So catch blocks will catch the exceptions. And we know that the exception will come here is arithmetic exception. So that is error. It will show error that cannot divide by 0. So a number cannot be divided by 0, right? And finally, it will go to final block. That this block will run for anything. So let's run this code and see once. It's the same code. Now we are going to execute it. See, we can see that we have got an error. As we can't divide a number with 0, so we are getting error. That is, we are getting the output from the catch block, that is cannot divide by 0. And final block is, however, it will execute. So we are getting it's done. Now let us dive into the next thing. So handling exceptions with try and catch. So we have just now seen how can we handle try exceptions using try and catch blocks, right? So now handling multiple exceptions. We can in a program we can also consist of multiple exceptions, not a single exception, right? So for these we can use multiple catch blocks. Like we can use uh, more than one catch blocks to handle different exceptions that may occur in the program. So in previous versions, we used to use the pipe operator to continuously represent the different multiple exceptions in one catch block. But it to make your program more robust, you can use multiple catch blocks and giving the exceptions that may occur multiple exceptions that may occur in the certain blocks and all. Now, like when catching multiple exceptions, like it is important to consider the exception hierarchy and as a more specific exception should be catch first. Like we have to give the priority which exception should be catch first. Now, the order of catch blocks matters as first matching catch block will handle the exception and subsequent blocks will be skipped. Which exception is going to occur in the program that will be executed and other catch blocks will be skipped. Now, let us see a piece of code which will show the execution of multiple catch blocks. Like we are using the same thing, like dividing the number with 0. So try block, if in try block, now in try block we are doing that if condition that if number 2 is 0, then it throws an exception. Here we are using the throw keyword. Like its syntax is throw and a new exception name. Throw new exception name is syntax of throw. Uh, Exception name in the brackets using like we are gonna print it. And we are dividing the number and giving the result in the try block itself. If the number is 0, it will give that it is division by 0. And if it is dividing, then it will give the result. As we are not dividing, it will throw the exception. Now, catch block. As we have already discussed that arithmetic exception is going to happen. So arithmetic exception error will be showed. And it is the another catch block we are using. Like if there is any other errors, like expect exceptions that may occur, we can use that which we can use other catch block for it mm, to mentioning that exception. But if you don't know what exception may occur, then you can use just the exception E. Now you're gonna print that whatever the exception is going to occur, like we are gonna print that an exception, an unexpected error may occur and all. Now let's run this code and see that. The same code we are gonna run it. So now you got the output like error. So this is from the try block itself. So as we like you have used a throw keyword and you have already got the answer like division is division by zero, right? You can't like it is giving the error. So it will skip all these blocks and directly give the output as arithmetic issue division by zero. And I think you got that. There are multiple exceptions. Now let us dive into the next topic. Let us discuss more about this throw and throws keywords. So throw is like raising a red flag. Like you're gonna stop the program, like it is a signal that there is an error happened, and it will stop the whole program there itself and stop something is went wrong like that. Okay. And then throws is like a warning label. It won't stop the program, but you use it in the method signature to tell anyone that calling the method like, hey, this method might throw these exceptions and all, these specific errors and all. So be prepared to catch them. Like you're gonna use this throw. After then, you are gonna use catch to catch those exceptions. So let's run this code and see. Here we are using the we are calculating the area of rectangle. So if this length and breadth are less than zero, then they will throw an exception that the length and breadth must be positive. As you know that the measuring things will not be in negative value, right? So it will stop the program here, I guess. And in try block, if we are passing some integers like 5, 3, so it will give the output as if there is no uh, negative values. And the second thing we have negative, so at the throw itself, we are gonna stop the program and it will give the error message. And now let's run this program and see why. So better understand. Mhm. So now here you can see that the first inputs that we are given that 5 and 3 as length and breadth is gonna work as these are positive inputs. So it will skip the throw block and go to the next things like int area, like they are multiplied and the area is gonna display. But when it comes to the next one that is minus 2 and 4, as minus 2 is negative length, we get that it will go like after passing through the flow thing, it will stop the program there as it's showing a red flag to stop the program that like showing an error. It will give length and breadth must be paused. So I think we got the whole program now, how to run this how to use this throws and catch, try, finally, etc. Now let us know more about this finally block. So purpose of finally. So finally block is just we are gonna use it whether there is an exception thrown or not. We are gonna execute that code, that piece of code. Such code we are gonna keep in this block and we are gonna execute the code. So the common use case of this finally block are like cleaning up like such closing files, database connections, or network sockets, etc. Now, so as we know that finally block provides an execution guarantee that any statements or any exceptions that encountered in try catch blocks, nothing matters to me. I will execute the program whatever happens. Like so, let's here is a piece of code which will show for I have already shown the finally block example, but let's see one more example for this finally. Here we are using an integer variable number 0, mm, and we are taking another number like it is string 123 ABC, uh, but it is not a number, right? So we will get an exception that please enter a valid number. So this is gonna get and finally block is gonna execute whatever happens. So now see, please enter a valid number. As we have given the string type, we are actually we should give the number type, integer type, but we have given string type. So we'll throw an exception that please enter a valid number. That is number format exception. And the finally block will, however, it will be executed that this message will always be printed. Okay. Now, these are some best practices for exception handling, uh, like catch specific exceptions, log exceptions, and handle exceptions wisely, minimize try block exceptions. So, catching the most specific exception types to ensure proper exception handling is more important. And keeping the try block as small as possible, avoiding catching internet exceptions is good. Like this is best practices for exception handling. Mm, now, conclusion. So, as we know, exception handling is like crucial aspects, and mastering exception handling makes you a good programmer. And applying these exception handling makes your code look more uh, like more expert coding. So, by mastering exception handling, you will be well on your way to writing exceptional Java application. So that's all for about exception handling. Thank you.